To many people, the earth looks extremely old. Not thousands of years old, but billions of years old. When these individuals hear a creationist like myself talk about a young earth that's thousands of years old, they wonder how someone could believe such. How could anyone look at earth and think it was created less than 10,000 years ago? First, even if people didn't always have old earth impressions, the man-made theory of evolution demands such an interpretation of our planet. Else the entire theory of evolution would have to be abandoned. Now, the fact is, evolution should be abandoned anyway since it's impossible, whether the Earth is young or old. What's more, many dating methods exist that point to a young Earth. They just get ignored by most people. No doubt, since evolutionary theory demands an old Earth, it should come as no surprise that many people can't help but see the Earth as being billions of years old. But define old. How does anyone actually know what a billion-year-old Earth looks like? Older humans can be identified accurately as old because their actual birth dates can be known. That is, people witnessed their births and gave them birth certificates. A person's age might also be reasonably estimated because their appearance can be compared to both older and younger people. The same thing can be said for animals and plants. People can know exactly when various animals were born or when a tree was planted, but what about the Earth as a whole? No one was alive when this or any other planet was born. No one was present on Earth to see the first rock formed, hill raised, or canyon created. How can anyone reasonably say the Earth looks billions of years old? Old compared to what? People who contend that the Earth appears billions of years old must also discount the very real possibility that one or more great catastrophes could have occurred in the past to drastically change the appearance of the Earth. Earthquakes, volcanoes, and local floods radically alter the looks of certain places on Earth. Consider how a tree that has been struck by lightning or damaged during a flood might appear much older than it is. Newly formed igneous rocks from volcanoes often appear old though they're new. In truth, Christians rightly interpret the Earth based upon the fact that only a few thousand years ago, God supernaturally altered the Earth's appearance forever by causing all the fountains of the great deep to break up and the windows of heaven to open, bringing rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Most of the oil, coal beds, and fossil graveyards in the earth, which many contend are evidence of an old earth, can be and have been rationally explained as a result of the worldwide flood of Noah's day. In short, even if it could be proven that the Earth looks very old, evolutionists cannot rationally deny that such apparent age could be the result of one or more great catastrophes. The fact that the Earth appeared older than it actually was at creation is also perfectly logical in light of the nature of God's miracles. When Jesus miraculously turned water to wine, He didn't plant a vine, wait for the grapes to grow over the course of several years, and then harvest them. He supernaturally bypassed this normal, time-laden process and instantaneously made an extremely tasty drink. When Jesus fed several thousand men, women, and children with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, He didn't make the large amounts of bread needed to feed this many people after planting a crop of wheat, waiting for months for it to grow, and then harvesting, threshing, grinding, and baking it. Again, Jesus bypassed a lengthy natural process and miraculously created bread. Likewise, God made the creation full-grown. He made the fruit tree, not just a seed that would eventually grow into a fruit-bearing tree. He created every winged bird, not eggs from which birds would hatch months later. He created a full-grown man capable of walking, talking, working, and procreating. God miraculously made a mature creation. Certainly one of the most amazing, time-defying, mature miracles of God's creation was the creation of the heavenly bodies on day 4. God had previously made light, intrinsic light, on day 1 of the creation. On day 4, He made the generators of light. Since light travels something like 6 trillion miles per year, and since some stars are an estimated 15 billion light years away, evolutionists assume that the universe must be at least 15 billion years old. Otherwise, how could we see the light from stars that are so far away? Once again, the answer, or at least a major part of the answer, to this supposed conundrum goes back to the fact that God worked an amazing miracle at creation. When God created the heavenly bodies, the generators of light, on day 4, He simultaneously and supernaturally made their light to appear on earth. Light that might naturally take long amounts of time to reach earth miraculously reached earth in an instant. Just as God had said on day 1, "Let there be light," and there was light, on day 4, He said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens," and it was so. These lights were created to give light on the earth and to divide the day from the night. God also set them in the firmament of the heavens for signs and seasons and for days and years. God had a purpose for creating the heavenly bodies, and He made them so that man benefited from them without having to wait long periods of time for their light to reach earth. Starlight didn't have to travel for 15 billion years before reaching earth. When God made Adam and Eve 2 days after His creation of the heavenly bodies, the first couple immediately profited from God's miraculous creation of starlight. God spoke the stars and their light rays into existence. Similar to how God created full-grown trees in 1 day, which if cut down may have had dozens or hundreds of visible tree rings, God made light from faraway stars appear instantly. Indeed, considering the nature of God's miracles at creation, a star that might appear to be extremely old is actually only a few thousand years old. The fact that the earth and the universe may appear much older than it is in no way bolsters the case for evolution. God's Word reveals that both the miracle of a mature creation and the cataclysmic flood are adequate explanations for a perceived old earth.